Hello again. So the last segment we ended with expectancy theory. Just as a reminder, effort leads to performance. We have to expect that. And performance leads to outcome, right? That we have to understand that has to be a linkage there. And this outcome has valence, which is to say it is valuable to the person being motivated. I must desire this outcome. It's something I strive for, and if it doesn't, right, then none of this works. All right, so a somewhat related version to this is the Porter-Lawler model, which focuses on relationship between satisfaction and performance. So again, often it's the linkage or it's the incorrect motivating factor that doesn't motivate the people. So very often we understand effort and performance. If you do this, this will happen, right? That's cause and effect. Humans are really good at that. Often the tricky part is figuring out the carrot out here, right? The thing that's going to motivate the people that you're attempting to motivate. All right, so the Porter-Lawler model focuses on this relationship between satisfaction and performance, right? So a couple of assumptions, right? If rewards are adequate, high levels of performance may lead to satisfaction. So just by doing well, I become more satisfied. Not so much the reward itself, but the performance level itself makes me satisfied. I know I'm good at it, therefore I like to do it. Right? And this satisfaction is determined by the perceived equity of intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, right? So a couple terms here. So intrinsic are intangible. Those are intrinsic words to me. So I do this because I want to, I like to, I feel better about myself, right? Extrinsic reward are things external to me. I do this because I get paid, or other people give me a pat on the back, or they tell me it's a good thing, they think highly of me, my parents are proud of me, whatever it is, right? Those are extrinsic rewards, right? I didn't really want to do it, but my mom said she'd be disappointed in me if I didn't, so okay, I'll do it, right? So satisfaction is determined by the perceived equity of intrinsic and extrinsic reward. Now let's talk about the word equity for a little bit. Equity and equal are not the same thing. Equal is everybody gets the same thing. So in this course, if we had equal, then everybody gets a B or a B minus, right? And some people are quite just fine with a B minus, other people not so much. So why would I work really, really hard when I know everybody's getting a B minus, right? So if things are equal, I don't really work very hard. That's the problem, quite frankly, with the whole communist idea of economic enterprise, right? It's fair because everybody gets the same. Well, if everybody gets the same, there's really no motivation to hustle, no motivation to work hard, no motivation for much of anything, right? That's sort of the central problem with that. And if people aren't motivated and we need everybody to work, what are we going to do now? Now we're going to have to make them work, right? So then we resort to force instead of economic incentives. So not so good. So in a graphical form, right, the Porter-Lawler model looks like this, right? So here's the effort, here's the performance we were just talking about, right? So to start off in this effort, I must think about the reward, and I must in fact value that reward, right? And then this perceived effort-reward probability. So if I actually try, what's the probability? So for instance, you as a student, if you're taking, I don't know, Calculus 3, and you're thinking, well, I could try really hard, and maybe Calculus 3 is probably not, there's a high likelihood it won't go well, therefore you won't try, right? Or as I'm taking another class, I'm taking history, and I feel pretty good about my skills of studying history, right? I probably got a good chance of getting a good grade in there if I work hard, therefore I work hard, right? So that's part of it. Right, so effort, we also think about this efforts, our abilities and traits, and our role perceptions. Is this something I should be doing? How will others see me? All of that. So we go right back to what we had before. Effort will lead to performance. But then the performance, I think about over here, perceived equity rewards, right? Is it fair? Is it equitable? Do A's get on the honor rolls and B's and C's do not, and F's have to retake the class, for instance, right? Right. Those are equity rewards, and also you're judged on your academic performance, not who you are. Are you buttering up the professor? Where you sit in the class? Girls get good grades, guys do not. Whatever it happens to be, right? You have to view that the rewards, maybe the grades in the class, are equitable, right? So this is a little different than the other model in terms of performance leads to satisfaction. Therefore, we have intrinsic rewards and extrinsic rewards. So we can have both, right? If I do something, I can have intrinsic rewards. It makes me feel good, but also there's extrinsic rewards. I got a grade, so I'm going to be on the dean's list. So I'm happy that I accomplished well and did well in this class, right? That's a good thing. But also extrinsic rewards, I get to be on dean's list, and that leads to certain other extrinsic factors, whatever that might happen to be, right? So the Porter-Lawler model is like Vroom's expectancy theory. There's just a few more things added to it, right? This perceived equity, the perceived effort reward probability, right? And this the rewards can be both intrinsic and extrinsic.